All right, y'all. So the day that we've been waiting for, Super Bowl Sunday, went down yesterday. The Eagles beat the Chiefs 40-22.
Why is today not a national holiday? We should have a day off the day after Super Bowl.
After
Sunday.
Super Bowl?
My God.
A lot of people, especially if you're from Philly, you took off work today. People were partying.
I'm sure a
Broad
lot of
Street
people
was
did.
packed.
Yeah.
Broad Street was insane yesterday. As the games, before the actual coverage of the game started, you saw Michael Strahan, a bunch of different people doing a walk down Bourbon Street in New Orleans, giving a tribute to, the 14 families who had victims lost in that attack. They had the Human Jukebox Southern State performing. They did some Boosie tributes. They did some Hot Boy tributes. That was good to see. Lettucey performed, Let Every Voice and Sing. You had John Baptiste out there as well, too. Then the game started, and, people filing on in. Trump was there. He's the first sitting president to attend a Super Bowl. He brought members of Congress with him. Speaker Mike Johnson, Lindsey Graham, Katie Britt, Tommy Tuberville, Ivanka Trump, Laura Trump were there as well with him. Jay-Z and Blue Ivy were on the
What if they had
floor.
to pay for their tickets? I was thinking about that. Did Trump them have to pay for their tickets?
I'm sure
no way.
not.
It's no way you Trump and you got to pay for tickets.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
Of course, Anne Hathaway was there in her Eagles green. I didn't even know she was an Eagles fan, but she was there in her Eagles green. Kevin Hart. There was so many people there, of course. It was a huge night. But getting to the actual game, Jalen Hurts is now the fourth black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Twitter was going crazy about that. He also took MVP home yesterday after the dominant win. Let's take a listen to him talk about after he was awarded the MVP trophy.
I think we had a focus group out there. Offense was able to score points, to take advantage of opportunities, just enough to put points on the board, and then defense played their ass off. They played how they played all year, and I truly believe offense wins games, but defense wins championships, and how that defense has been able to play. It's a great testament to them. It's been a long journey. It's been a journey of ups and downs and highs and lows, and I've always stayed true to it in the end, and having this vision of just being the best that I can be, and that evolving over time into this desire and this flame inside to win. And you don't do great things without the guys around you.
The defense was stellar. Okay, Patrick Mahomes stunk it up. All right. It
Defense
leads me
was
to
amazing.
believe that Kendrick Lamar is kryptonite to biracial men.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
Cole, Drake, Patrick Mahomes, they simply don't perform well when Kendrick is
It was
around.
real bad yesterday. And
It
y'all-
was bad.
Yeah, I was watching it and
Eagles
I was
defense
like,
was like no
I'm
other,
not
though.
even a big football person. I was like, Patrick Mahomes needed like a spa day
He
or
couldn't
something.
do anything. They
And he
were on
was
his
so
ass the
upset.
whole game.
Throwing interceptions.
He
It
couldn't
was
even
bad.
yell nigga out of frustration because Kendrick was in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Well, speaking of frustration, they showed Taylor Swift on the screen literally for like a second. She was there with Ice Spice. Yo, they booed her so bad. Them
did.
Eagles fans was not let's
They
take a
did.
listen.
She looked at Ice Spice like, oh my God.
No, she did. She looked at Ice Spice like, that's for you, girl. That ain't for me.
She was so shocked. She was looking like, oh, what? I'm like, oh, welcome to Philly. Welcome to Philly, Tay.
That wasn't Philly.
They said it was a lot of the Eagles fans that
Philly
were.
fans. A lot of Eagles
They were-
fans was in the
That ain't
building.
got nothing to do with city. That just people just don't like Taylor Swift.
You
That's my
look, you
story.
so
I'm
happy.
sticking to it.
You so
That was a
happy.
majority. I think a majority. They said a majority of Philly was in that building.
Yes, but then the halftime happened, right? So Kendrick Lamar finally gave us the moments that I think a lot of people were looking for. So basically, like what we watched Kendrick Lamar do was he set kind of like a chessboard, and they performed in a game of life, and he gave us different scenarios throughout the Super Bowl halftime show of what he thought the game of life was.
The whole point of the performance to me was to not play it safe. The whole point of the performance was to not be commercial on what is probably the most commercial stage in America. And like you just said, Lauren, having Samuel L. Jackson, his Uncle Sam out there telling him he should play it safe, and Kendrick purposely not doing that,
Right.
that was dope to me.
I thought that was dope too. I think the whole show was pretty cool. Wasn't amazing to me. I didn't love his set. I wish he would have did other songs because he had bigger songs and songs that I think would have been connecting. I think, when you look at If Power Rules and Crips, All Rule the World, like that song, or Swimming Pools, or
I
Don't
wouldn't
Kill
have
My
did Swimming
Vibe.
Pools.
There's a lot of songs
I
that
wouldn't
he's
have did
had.
Don't Kill My Vibe.
I think. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think a lot of people are arguing about the set list, but for me, I kind of expected Kendrick to come with a message. And when I saw Samuel L. Jackson open it and the conversation that I knew that they were about to have, I knew we was about to get like deep Kendrick, where you
the
gotta like
message
sit
was
and
great.
listen. Yes.
Aesthetically, I gave it a 10. You know what I mean? But I agree with Envy. I thought his set list could have been way better. He could have just picked bigger, high energy songs than the
Records,
ones
yeah.
he did. For example, It was an unapologetically ultra-black performance. Imagine if he would have opened up with Black of the Berry.
He opened with like a freestyle that we had never heard before.
Can you imagine if Black of the Berry was the first song on Kendrick's set at the Super Bowl? And then he threw in joints like "Aight," "Mad Kid," like you said, Envy, "Money Trees," Backseat Freestyle, mixed in with "TV Off" and "Humble" and "Squabble Up." Oh, he would have killed it. And if he was going to do "Not Like Us," which I still don't think he should have done because he just gave Drake too much light.
He had to.
I don't think so.
I think he had to. And he addressed it directly. I didn't think he was going to do that. He actually said, I want to do y'all song, but everybody's favorite song, but you know they sue.
I feel like
I was like, oh, wow.
I love that.
I feel like between that, Euphoria, and Not Like Us, he gave Drake too much light. But if he was going to do it, he should have did the last verse based off the theme of his show last night. Since it was so ultra black, so unapologetically black, he should have did the last verse. And I know he wanted to get to the A minor part for the crowd reaction, but to match the blackness of his performance, I would have just did the last verse. I did not want to.
Even if he did both verses, if he did the first verse and then the last verse.
Time.
He had
gave
time.
Drake the whole stage majority of the time anyway.
He could have took something out to do that.
He talked a lot about life and, America's being on black people's backs, but people grabbed a lot of the Drake stuff. They were trying to say that his A train was for the A minor, but I believe it's the A from the PG Lang graphic.
They had flags with that on there.
Yeah, but this is PG Lang's, like, this is their brand. This is their, like, logo. And because he had
his label.
Yeah, his label, I'm sorry. Because he had the A chain on, people thought it was for A minor, but no.
What the A got to do with PG Lang?
I have no idea, but this is what's on their website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just did not want to hear Baca, Chubbs, and Party's name on stage at the Super Bowl.
It's a diss record. That's probably one of his biggest records ever. He had to do it. He had to.
No, he didn't.
He had to.
He didn't have to.
I think he did. That's his biggest record ever.
It don't matter. Kendrick is bigger than records. He didn't have to do it.
And I think everybody was waiting for him to do that. That's a big song. And for people that don't know about the dissing and all that, they just like the song and they not like us. They don't know it's a diss record. They just, look at it as a competition record.
Saying he had to do it is a debate I've been having for the past couple weeks. He didn't have to do it.
He absolutely positively had to do
Kendrick
that.
Lamar. He's a Pulitzer Prize winning artist.
That's true. That's cool. He had to do that song.
He didn't have to do it.
He would have looked scary if he didn't, but we got to wrap up.
No, he wouldn't have.
We can come back and bring this back.
As black as he was it last night? Please.
Well, let's open up the phone lines. We can discuss that. 800-585-1051. When we come back, we got front page news. Then we'll take your phone calls as well. Let's discuss Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl. What's your thoughts? It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up
early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.